Assalamualaikum. I hope all of you are doing well. I am Juwairia here to discuss about the Rutherford atomic model from chapter number 2. Before starting our today's lesson, I request you all to open your notebooks and hold your pencils in your hands so that you can note down the important points. These are the learning objectives of our today's lesson. The word atomic is derived from the word atom, which I think you must be familiar with. So basically, atomic model is structure of an atom. Students, if you remember, then in chapter number 1 we have discussed about the Dalton atomic theory. The first postulate of that theory says that atom cannot be further divided, but later on various experiments shows that atom can be further divided into electrons, protons and neutrons. Once the scientists accepted that atom can be further divided, they started experiments to know how these subatomic particles are arranged in atom. After experimentation, they proposed different atomic models, and one of those atomic models is Rutherford atomic model, which was proposed by Ernst Rutherford in 1911. He wanted to know how electrons, protons and neutrons are arranged inside an atom. He was also awarded with Nobel Prize due to his discovery of nucleus inside an atom. Next is the Rutherford experiment. Here this diagram shows you the experimental design of Rutherford experiment. If you look at the diagram, then you come to know that this experiment consists of three things. First thing is a source of alpha particles, which is represented over here with this box. Inside this box, Rutherford used polonium element, which is a highly radioactive element. Here the term radioactive means the element which produces the radiations, and here radiations are alpha particles. If we talk about the nature of alpha particles, then they are doubly positively charged helium nuclei. The doubly positively charged means they have positive 2 charge. The second thing which was used by the Rutherford is a thin gold foil. Here this rectangle represents the thin gold foil. Its thickness is about 0.004 centimeter. This thickness is less than the thickness of human hair, which means it is made up of only few gold atoms. The third and the last thing which was used by the Rutherford is a circular fluorescent screen. This is the circular fluorescent screen. Here the word fluorescence means the thing which produces visible light. Rutherford used this screen as a detector of alpha particles. Okay students, now let's discuss how Rutherford performed his experiment. He bombarded a beam of alpha particles on a thin gold foil, and after hitting the thin gold foil, the alpha particles adopted three different pathways. The first pathway, which is adopted by most of alpha particles, is a straight path, as you can see over here. Here this is a beam of alpha particles. It hits with the thin gold foil, and after hitting the thin gold foil, it strikes over here. The second pathway, which was adopted by a few alpha particles, is a greater than 90 degree. Here this is 90 degree, and these alpha particles show the angle greater than 90 degree. In the third pathway, very few alpha particles are deflected back. Here the word deflected means change direction after hitting something. To understand this, just look at this beam of alpha particles. This beam of alpha particles move forward and hits with the thin gold foil, and after hitting the thin gold foil, it moves back or deflected back and strikes over here, as you can see. On the basis of these observations, Rutherford drew some conclusions. According to the Rutherford, since majority of the alpha particles pass through the foil undeflected, most of the space occupied by an atom must be empty. In this statement, the word undeflected means the alpha particles go straight after hitting the thin gold foil. To understand this, just look at this magnified image of gold atom. In this diagram, these arrows represents the beam of alpha particles. As you can see over here, majority of the alpha particles go straight. It means the major space inside an atom is empty. According to the second conclusion, the deflection of a few alpha particles through angles greater than 90 shows that these alpha particles are deflected by electrostatic repulsion between the positively charged alpha particles and positively charged part of an atom. In this statement, the word deflected means change the direction after hitting something, and electrostatic repulsion means moving away from each other due to the same charges. Here the same charges are positive charge of nucleus and positive charge of alpha particles. To understand this statement, look at this diagram. of cold atom. Here you can see that the positively charged beam of alpha particle is moved forward and hit the positively charged center of an atom, and after hitting it bounces back or it goes in this direction. So according to the Rutherford, there must be something which is very hard and have a positive charge, and similar charges repel each other. According to the third conclusion, massive alpha particles are not deflected by electrons. Students, we know that electron has negative charge and proton has positive charge, and opposite charges attract each other. Due to this reason, massive alpha particles are not deflected by electrons. On the basis of these conclusions, Rutherford proposed an atomic model which is known as the Rutherford atomic model or planetary model of an atom. According to Rutherford, in the center of an atom, nucleus is present, and around the nucleus, electrons are revolving in circular paths, and these circular paths are called the orbits. Students, do you know why it is called planetary model? It is called the planetary model because it resembles with our solar system. If you compare it with the solar system, then sun in the center of solar system resembles with the nucleus, and electrons revolving around the nucleus resembles with the planets. Here is a question for all of you. We know that electrons have a negative charge, protons have a positive charge, and opposite charges attract each other due to the electrostatic attraction. Then why does the electron not crash in the nucleus of an atom? Okay, let me explain you. Electron doesn't crash or fall in the nucleus because centripetal force due to the revolution of electrons balances the electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and electron and prevent the electrons from falling in the nucleus. According to the Rutherford, atoms are electrically neutral because number of protons inside an atom are equals to number of electrons. To understand this, just look at this diagram of carbon atom. In the nucleus of carbon atom, 6 protons are present, and around the nucleus 6 electrons are revolving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it means that this carbon atom has positive 6 charge in the nucleus and negative 6 charge around the nucleus. So this positive 6 charge cancels out the effect of negative 6 charge, and overall charge on the atom is 0. So the atom is electrically neutral. So students, as you know that each and everything in the universe has some negative effects along with its positive effects. Same is the case over here. Rutherford atomic model also have some flaws or defects. So let's discuss them one by one. Defect 1. Classical physics suggests that electron, being a charged particle, will emit energy continuously while revolving around the nucleus. Thus, the orbit of the revolving electron becomes smaller and smaller until it would fall into the nucleus. This would collapse the atomic structure. To understand this statement, just look at the diagram of atom. In the center, nucleus is present. Around the nucleus, electron is revolving, and while revolving around the nucleus, electron emit energy continuously in the form of electromagnetic radiations, and due to this loss of energy, the orbit size of electron becomes smaller and smaller, and electron is going closer and closer to the nucleus, as you can see over here, and ultimately electron will fall inside the nucleus. And if so, then atom will collapse or destroys, and each and everything which is made up of an atom will also collapse or destroys, including your body. Defect 2. If revolving electrons emit energy continuously, it should form a continuous spectrum for an atom, but a line spectrum is obtained. To understand this statement, just look at this image. Here, according to the Rutherford, atom release energy continuously, so it would form a continuous spectrum. Here, this is a continuous spectrum. But when it was observed with the spectrophotometer, the results were quite unexpected. Atom forms the line spectrum instead of the continuous spectrum. This is the line spectrum. Inside the line spectrum, the band of light alternate with the dark band. So students, this is the whole story about the Rutherford atomic model. I hope you get what we have learned so far. Here at the end I have few questions for you. First write them into your notebooks and then find their answers. This is your homework assignments. Okay student, our today's lesson ends here. Goodbye. Allah Hafiz. Stay home, stay safe.